For women, I would use a 25-pound plate or 10-pound plate. For males, I would use a 45-pound plate. Everything is 10 reps. You're doing 10 squats up and down, count of 10. Then you're doing 10 lateral side lunges. You're going to be doing 10 one side. And then after you do 10 lunges one side, you're immediately going to switch and do 10 lunges the opposite side. Remember to have both feet pointed forward, making sure your legs are in line with one another. Pushing off with the heel that's bending. Next up, you have squat to overhead press. So sitting back on those heels, squeezing those glutes at the top, driving those legs up and exploding up with that plate, bringing it up over your head. Again, 10 reps here. Next, you have a single leg bent over row. So you have one leg elevated up in the air and try to hold your stance the best possible. You're doing 10 one side, then 10 the other. So you're doing rows with that plate. Again, keeping that leg elevated. 10 one side, 10 the other. Then you have 10 single RDLs. So again, hinge forward. Remember to hinge from the hips, keeping that back knee slightly bent, keeping your hips square to the floor. Make sure not to open up that pelvis. Bring the plate a little bit below your knees, nothing more than that, keeping those shoulders back. The leg you're standing on, when you stand up, make sure to squeeze that tush nice and tight. So again, 10 one side, then you're going to switch and do 10 the other. Next, you have plie squats with a bicep curl. So wide stance, toes out, elbows in. You're coming down for that squat. You're curling the plate up and then bringing it back down. So curl, stand, and up. Good job. All right, next up, you have plate touches. 10 per side, so a total of 20. You can have a wider stance to make it easier. Feet together if you want it harder. You are alternating, touching the plate. Do not move those hips. Nice and quiet. Next, you have 10 weighted burpees. So you're bringing the plate down to the ground, you're jumping out, you're jumping in, you're grabbing the plate, you're curling and pressing. Remember, when you stand, do not round your back to pick up that plate. You can see how I'm squatting deep, keeping my elbows inside my thighs. 20 minutes. Let's go.